What about my taxes, Homo Schlager? You don't want to know, dude. They're gonna get filled out around April 29th on some cocktail napkins. Me and the tax man do not see eye to eye on very much in this life. Well, cheers! It's a Saturday night edition, so got a little brewski going. Got a special guest tonight. We got this guy here. You want to say hi? What do you want to do? You want to say hi? No, Biggie. Look. No, look that way. No, you're so dumb. There you go. There you go. Now we're both in the shot. He is not a big hockey fan, I will say. I mean, he likes hockey because if we watch, it often means we're curled up on the couch. So he enjoys that. He enjoys curling up on the couch. But the actual sport, not. He's not a big sports guy. He likes running around. That is a sport for him. Oh, you got your frosty bottle of Perrier, always good. That's usually my go-to. My usual go-to. Well, I don't buy Perrier anymore. I got a, not even a Soda Stream. I got the Scandinavian one, the Arc. So I make my own soda now. Um, but when I do buy store soda, it tends to be what's the name? It's like a Long Island brand. I live in Côte Saint Luc, so I inadvertently buy a lot of kosher things, even though I'm not kosher or anything. But I do inadvertently buy kosher things sometimes. There's like Rocky Point or something like that. They make a soda. It's really cheap. It's very bubbly. It's perfect. Please, Jobesh have a solid game. Yeah, he is the guy in tonight, isn't he? They were very late with the announcements, I have to say. I was waiting for I was waiting for the word on that one. But I mean, we all assumed Jobesh would be in tonight, right? Because as you know, Montebo was in last night, and he didn't exactly play well enough to warrant two straight games in a row, right? Hello, Darcy. Please, Dobesh, have a solid game. Please, no penalties. Good gracious. Ain't that the truth? Here's the lineup for you. First line, same. Second line, same. New Hook still on the second line with the Kapanen and Demidov. Bolduc, Evans, Doc. They looked all right. Doc certainly looked better there than on the first line. Anderson, Dano Gallagher, the old man line on the fourth line. Matheson with Gooley again. Hudson and Dobson. Those guys are fun to watch. Jack Eye back in the lineup. Guys, we can. Our national nightmare is over. We can officially feel somewhat good about Jack Eye being the man on defense, at least for now, right? Give it time. Yeah, here's where is he? No, you can't see him now. Anyways, my dog is very firmly planted on my arm right now. He's not gonna let me type. So I don't know. Maybe I won't type. Maybe I won't type tonight. Maybe we'll just talk. Um, yeah. I mean, obviously, last game not super exciting. I mean, it was exciting to watch, but the result was less than what we were hoping. It would be pretty bad, I think, if they exited this Western trip without a win. They're currently 0-1 on this trip. They're 1-2 since coming back from the break, so not great. Guys are coming up. Teams are coming up from behind. Columbus is red hot. Detroit is also like not. They're kind of with the Habs right now. They're not doing super great. Um, Buffalo, Tampa, I think, is walking away with the Atlantic here now. So it's really a battle for third place between those two teams. Yeah. Hey, Ryan. Yeah, I totally agree with you. 10 goals, 2 games. You'd think would mean 2 wins, but alas, this is the new NHL, and this is these teams, man. They can light the lamp, and they don't do a great job keeping the puck out of the net. Actually, unfortunately, so we have, just in case you were wondering, we have no lineup changes tonight outside of goal. So Dobesh is in tonight, and then there's nothing else changing. So Jack Eye's in again. Valeno, Line, and Texier are still your scratches. Um, Texier is kind of an interesting one because we did a video on Friday about Texier and like, oh, why did the Habs jump the gun signing this guy to the 2 year extension? Because he's already like not playing. It's kind of an interesting situation. He was hurt entering the break, but he's healthy now. He did not look very. I will say he did not look good at the Olympics. I don't think he was healthy, but you only get one chance to play in the Olympics, so you got to take it. Hey, do you know who's posting like hell about the no trade activity from the Habs? Tony Marinaro is. I'd imagine Tony's not super thrilled. I am of the thought that I didn't see anything at the deadline that was like the Habs really got to be in on this. I don't know. Do you guys feel that way? I didn't see anybody traded. The guy that maybe I would have liked, I guess Utah got him, Mackenzie Weegar. I don't know how good he is these days, but Mackenzie Weegar of 2 years ago would have been excellent on the Habs. Um, but I think they have a top five, so it's tricky to find somebody for the defense. Pareko, I don't mean he didn't want to go to Buffalo. I don't know if he wanted to come to the Habs. Ristolainen didn't get moved in the end. Blues didn't really move any of their guys. Leafs didn't move any of their guys. God, I'm listening to the hockey night in Canada intro, and they're talking about how awesome it was that Toronto kept Larson and Lawton, and they're like, these guys are so underpaid and they're so good and they're so happy to be in Toronto. Yeah, okay, great. You guys are gonna run back the same non-playoff team again. Congratulations, Leafs. That's why you trade them. You don't trade this. This is the Toffoli argument all over again. When the Habs traded Toffoli, and everyone was like, "You guys are crazy. He's their best player." And I'm like, "That's the point. The point is you trade. If you're bad and you know you're screwed, you trade your good players because your bad players aren't getting you anything. So you trade your good players. They could have gotten maybe a first for Larson and/or Lawton, and instead they didn't get anything. So I don't understand Toronto's standing pat. Like they needed to sell off, they didn't. So they're gonna try to run it back next year, I guess. As for the Canadiens, yeah, they're just like I don't know, man. It just didn't look like they were selling much. Braden Shad, you can't really get. You got Dano, you can't really add another older center like that. I don't. You can't have two. Tampa is losing in the Cup final, and you know why? Is it because the Central teams are just like insane? Like that's the real final, right? Whoever gets out of the Central. Hey, Kelly, good to see you again. Needless to say, some improved Team D and a steadier goaltending is in order. Well, they have not gotten that this week, that's for sure. Homa says, yeah, there's nothing right now for us on the market. That's what it seems like. Saturday night, and Eric, I know I haven't been doing the Saturday nights just because work has not really allowed it, but I should be able to do most of them going forward. We're gonna see how this goes, but I also don't know if people can tune in on Saturday, but we'll try. Yeah, there isn't a lot of cap space, Kelly says, and no one I saw that could really step right into a D spot. Yeah, that's kind of how it went down, and no no like interesting young players got traded. Like I imagine that the Canadiens will always be in on the Rob Thomases of the world, but like none of them moved at the deadline, so there wasn't really much. There were some guys like Elder Soderblom that was like traded, and I'm like, oh, that'd be interesting. Get like another 24-year-old type. Karen, good to see you again. Hope you got the game on tonight. At least we're not Toronto. Yes, that is. The Habs are good. The Habs. I know we gripe a lot, but the Habs are a good team. They're probably gonna make the playoffs. They're in the upper half of the teams in this league. At times better than that even. So I think our griping comes more from like I think we know that they can be even better. Like they're still on the way up, but the team's still moving up. So for all our griping, the team is not hopeless in a hopeless situation as some teams are. Homo says, I'd rather wait and see guys knocking at our door willing to play for us and be part of the journey ahead. I mean, there's still a lot of guys who can fight for jobs, especially in the bottom six. It'd be interesting to see what the Florian Jacki, Owen Becks, Luke Tucks of the world can do. Looks like Laval won today. They won in a shootout. Oh yes, the Corey Perry curse. But maybe they get is Patrick Maroon's retired, but maybe they can get Patrick Maroon and Corey Perry, and they can finally figure out who's if Patrick Maroon's good karma counteracts Corey Perry's bad karma. Tampa should try that. Apple Tile, hello, hello. Toronto became a dumpster fire when they ran Marner out of town. He was a third of the team offense, played PP and PK. I know, and he was so good for the Canadian team in the Olympics, and it's just like even at the Four Nations, and you're just like, he's good. I don't know what they were thinking. He's good. Expos hat. I remember going to Jerry Park in the '60s with my dad and meeting Le Grand Orange. This is not a official issue Expos hat, as you guys can see. It's the Tiffany Expos hat. I don't know if you know this, but Expos hats have undergone a renaissance. But now you can get them in like a million different colors and a million different varieties. It's a bit of a weird thing. Karen says, "Well, we gripe because we want them to win." That's exactly it, right? And the fact that we know that they're like inching ever closer to being like a contender. Rick Wood says letting Marner leave was a massive mistake. The thing is that these like the Marner thing, the seeds were planted from the beginning. Like he was ran out of town like years ago. Like years ago, there was already like animus, and he just couldn't wait to leave. He was never gonna sign, and then he could totally screw them over by not waiving his no trade clause. So I mean, well, that's Toronto's fault. They signed him to that deal, but it's just a matter of like sometimes it's just like a divorce is gonna happen. Sometimes I hear Habs fans like gripe about like a guy who got away or like, oh, the Canadians didn't acquire this guy, but sometimes the guy just doesn't want to be here. A good example is in baseball. Uh, Bo Bichette signed with the Mets, and everyone was like, "Oh, why didn't Toronto sign him?" But the first report that we got out of that was that Bo Bichette felt like the turf at the Sky Dome was hurting his knees, and he didn't want to stay. And it wasn't because he didn't like the team or he didn't like the city, but he was just like, "My career is not going to last very long if I got to play on this turf, so I have to leave." What can you do? The Jays knew it was coming. Um, Sometimes that happens. Sometimes it's just like the other things at play. Doing back to backs, just like the Habs. I know, I know. Hi, Michael. Good to see you again. Apple Tile went to the first game the Expos played at Jerry Park. Damn. You guys go back. You guys are way backs. Love the Expos around here. Oh my, you're Corey Perry. I totally forgot the Corey Perry rumor. That was never proven, was it? No, it's just funny. Mr. Saturday Night, Cole Caulfield, number 2 in goal scored with 37. Mark. Hey, Mark. Good to see you again. I went to Carlton U in 1979. Went to tons of Expos games from 69 to 82. You were at the Blue Monday game. Oh, that's not a good one to be at, but. Oh, yes. 79, 82. I was like, oh, yeah, you went to university for 13 years. That's the dream, man. They did that with Nylander also. Yeah, Nylander's. I mean, he's there. He might be the last man standing. To be honest, with the way things are going with Matthews right now. Hoshlaga asks, "Are we going to get back the Expos?" You are not getting back the Expos. The Expos are not coming back ever again. I'm sorry to say. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Lots of people would love for the Expos to come back. There are even the occasional rich person who likes the idea, but Major League Baseball has absolutely zero interest in coming back. They would only use the Expos to coax. They don't even have teams that need stadiums anymore, eh? Didn't Tampa figure their shit out, and Oakland's gonna move to Vegas, maybe? So there's really nothing for the Expos are just to like pump up the price when they decide to expand, which I don't even think they're gonna do. If they decide to expand to like Nashville and Portland, I think were the two teams that people were interested in. They're not even gonna bother. Like they're just gonna use Expos to potentially like drive up the price. But the Expos are never coming back. I'm sorry. Yes, Brody Brazil had an interview with the potential buyer 2 days ago. Rick, that was Ashram from Watch Mojo. The Gazette interviewed him like 2 months ago. We beat Brody Brazil. We beat Brody Brazil by 2 months. I'll shoot you the link later. But Ashram doesn't have the money. Sorry to say. I like him a lot. The Watch Mojo guy. He's a super nice guy, super down to earth, super ambitious. Love him. Doesn't have the money. Not even close to having the money to buy the Expos. So it's not gonna happen. Oh my god, my dog is still on my arm, and my arm is falling asleep here. Here, hold on. Here is the interview with Ashcan. Here, can you see him? There you go. That's my dog. No barking. No barking, eh, bud? Oh, Brody has 3 interviews with him. The latest was 2 days ago. It's not gonna happen. Shout out to Ashcan and shout out to Brody, but they're not bringing the Expos back. Cheers, by the way. It's gonna be a late start tonight. I hope not. All right, buddy. All right, I gotta like on my dog. There you go. I might have to open the door for him. Go sleep on the couch. There you go. I like having my dog around, but I don't know about you guys. I have a dog who likes to be like on under like have my arms under him, and my God, my arms get so exhausted sometimes. Orange julep? No orange julep. No orange julep tonight. I have a welcome to hell, a Kronbacher hell. This is the discount beer at the PA grocery store tonight. It's not very good. Not very good. I'll nurse it slowly. Hi, all. Nice to have an earlier start than yesterday, especially with losing an hour. Oh yeah, that's right. It's the clock change tonight. I gotta ask, how do you guys feel about the clock change? Are you guys down with that? Do you want to get rid of it? There you go. Hold on, I gotta go take care of my dog for 1 second. Karen says end it. Rick also says end it. Max, hello Max. No take on the time changes, but you say let's see if the boys can play 60 minutes. That's a take on. You did reference time actually. I should be. Mark says I like long summer nights. Me too. I'll put up with the winter to have a nice long summer night. As a good Roman Catholic, let's start a prayer to the Pachamama using voodoo incantation, dancing naked in circles for victory. Oh my God! There will be no naked. There will be no naked, no naked dancing on this live stream. I promise you. Karen loves daylight savings time. Hey, that's good to have a defender of daylight. Ryan says get rid of it. Trump promised to get rid of standard savings time, and he changed it to Trump all the time. That's pretty good. Harry's retired, so it's always 5 o'clock somewhere. That's the right attitude. R.I.P. Jimmy Buffett. Oh, they're just letting a season ticket holder sing the anthem tonight. That's cool. The Kings are bad this year, by the way, guys. I know the Canadiens have had a miserable time against the Kings. I think they've lost 8 of the last 9, but the Kings actually suck and are bad this year and lost Kevin Fiala for the season and Panarin. I don't think cares that much, and they listened to Bergie and made the team slow and old and bad, and now Bergie's gone. That's what's going down in LA. I never really understood why the Kings and the Ducks in flashy Southern California always seem to have these very like big, burly, boring teams. Anaheim seems to be changing that now. They got some good young guys in there, but the Kings, I don't fully understand the vibe with them. They brought in Ken Holland now, who's just like the retread of the retreads. God, he's not gonna figure that thing out. He's lousy. He's done. Yeah, I just don't really understand why the Kings don't try to go. They play in the home of the Showtime Lakers. Where's the razzle dazzle? I don't like that we don't get the razzle dazzle from the Kings. I feel like the NHL would be a better league for it. Not that the NHL would ever realize a marketing possibility right in front of their faces, right? All right, putting up the money line tonight. No, the money line's a little bit for the Kings tonight. How about the money puck? Money puck is nowhere yet. They're still at 50-50. Appletoss says this game's going to be close going into the third period. Well, I don't think it's going to be another 6-5, 7-5 game. I have a feeling. Trump 24/7. He may want the Gordie Howe Bridge renamed to Trump. I'm not gonna get into a huge backstory about it, but I did some work about the bridge like a few years ago. Like I was working on a bit of a media deck for the bridge. And it has nothing to do with Trump. And at that point, Trump was not the president, and they were just talking about the economic benefits of the bridge and all that. So I don't know. I just have that in my head all the time. You know what? I don't even think they used the deck in the end. I think there was a lot of internal turmoil, and it didn't work out. Max asks, any lineup changes? Just Joe Bess. Yeah, the only lineup change tonight is Dobesh is in and Monty is out. But otherwise, the forwards and the defense are exactly the same. Oh, we got a prediction right here from Rick. Habs 4-3. That feels like a pretty accurate. I think it's gonna be 4-3 for somebody. I think it'll be Habs. I think the Habs are gonna pull this one out tonight. I can't imagine this again. This is a team that likes to it's good at rebounding from losses. The Kings are not that good. Kemper's a Nats who's like pretty good. Mark says I'm already nervous about the Leafs game coming on Tuesday. Why are you nervous? You think the Leafs are? You think the Leafs got it? Oh, we got another prediction. Karen says 3-2. All right. First period is underway. How many shots on goal before a goal? Well, hopefully not on the first shot. That'll already be an improvement on last night. Hey, it's Phil Deneau's first game back in LA after being traded. Kings have trouble scoring. Classic Kings, man. This team has had trouble scoring for a long time. I don't really understand why they're built the way they are. I mean, I get it. I think they think that if they squeeze into the playoffs, they can go far because they're a big, heavy team. But it just feels like the talent on this team is really just eroded over the years. Oh, that's where Scott Lawton went. I wasn't sure where Scott Lawton went. Is he on the Kings? Is that what they said? Sure is. Five seasons for Janelle. Well, he signed a 5-year deal, right? That was the. Or he signed a 6-year deal? Can't remember now. Mark says, after last night, I really hope we've seen the end of Montembeau. I'd love to see Fowler called up and Monty waived. I think it's going to have to get even more desperate than that before they even begin to entertain that possibility. Got a decent shift by the Habs here, setting up. Caulfield will score his 40th goal in front of our last one this week. Nice play by Jack Guy to hold the zone, keep it in. Had to take a hit by Hellenius to make it happen, but it was a nice move by him. Here's hoping Ivy Demidov comes out of his slump soon. Yeah, I mean, now that Slavkovsky's off the second line, like there's even more pressure on Demidov to like have that second line perform because I don't think Newhook and Kapanen are like line drivers. Maybe Newhook when he's hot, but I don't think so. Oh, Caulfield with a backhand on Kemper, pretty good. That's nice. A nice little applause for Phil Deneau. Deneau in the end played. Yeah, he did indeed play 4.5 seasons of a 6-year deal. Not bad. He gave them 345 games, 200 points in 345 games. By comparison, with Montreal, he had 204 points in 385. And of course, Geno has 10 points since coming back from LA. But Geno has played more games in Montreal than LA. Not by much though. Only a half a season difference. Ooh, Doc looking pretty good on this shift. But Matheson not able to get the puck through the guy covering him. But the Kings are really just like they're definitely like an old school dump and chase kind of team, which to me explains why they don't score a lot and are not going to make the playoffs. They do definitely seem just like an old school. Oh, nice chance there by the Kings though. They kind of just threw the puck on net and there was a guy there for the rebound, but didn't get a handle on it. Both Pierre Maguire and Tony mentioned about sitting players. The first name mentioned to sit out the game tonight was Gallagher. That's an excellent observation. Wonder if MSL is even thinking about this. There's not a lot of night off load management talk in the NHL. It's very much if you're healthy, you play. They really value consistency in the lineup, so they don't like to shuffle guys in and out. But they do play a ton of games in March, and Gallagher is definitely the weakest guy on the roster, I think, right now. I think it's pretty fair to say. So I think Texie needs to get back in there. I think Line needs to get back in there if he's healthy. So we'll see what happens. But I don't see it being a bad idea to rest some veterans. But you try telling these guys not to play, you know what I mean? Canada beat Colombia 8-2 in baseball today. We're gonna talk a lot about the World Baseball Classic during the intermission, guys. I have a lot to talk about the World Baseball Classic. I am, as always, so excited about this incredibly stupid tournament, but I love it. Um, I love that a bunch of Czech mechanics get to go up against Shohei Otani. Here's a guy who plays in the Australian League. He's gonna go up against Aaron Judge now. I love it. But yes, Canada did beat Colombia. I have said this ever since I saw the pools for the World Baseball Classic. They have torqued the pools this year so that Canada can finally get out of the pool round. Look at who's in their pool. They kind of just need to beat like Panama and Colombia, and then they can move on with Puerto Rico. Oh, they need to be Cuba as well, but Cuba's not very good this year. So this is the best chance that Canada has had since the start of the World Baseball Classic to get out of the pool, which they never have. Every freaking other regular country has like lucked their way out of the pool round. Canada never has. The Canadian guys, bless their hearts, have never taken this super seriously. We also just don't have enough pitching depth. We never do. But this is the year. They're making the quarters. I'm rooting for them. I'm rooting for the Aussies too because the Aussies are fun. Uh, World Baseball Classic. Oh, that's nice. I have not been a bad boy and have not looked too much at the Paralympics. I should. I should. We need to talk about World Cup cricket. You know, it's so funny. I know I would love cricket if I like got into it. There are guys near at the park near me that play cricket. I used to live in NDG. This park in Côte Saint Luc, not Côte Saint Luc, in Côte des Neiges, where the guys play cricket all day, like all weekend. They just got cricket games going. I want to learn how to play. I'm like decent at baseball. How hard can it be to like kind of figure out like not figure out a little bit? Pierre Maguire was very disappointed that Montreal did nothing to bolster the team at the deadline. Yeah, I mean, if they did do something at the deadline, I think in the end it would have just been like a Bergie deadline where they just like let's get Dwight King and Mike Weaver. Mike Weaver's pretty good actually. You shouldn't. That's gonna be a penalty. That was an obvious call. Oh yeah, Gooley. I thought they were just gonna go on Matheson, but it looks like Gooley. Boop. Gooley was the one that high sticked him. By respect to the present podcast, I didn't mention the other one. You can mention any podcast you want. I love them all. They're all we're all amigos. We've had Tony on Hockey Inside Out. Stu Cowan's on the sick. Like Brennan's gone on. He's been on 690. Like I've been on 690. I've done a couple 690 segments before. It happens, man. We're all amigos. Don't worry about it. Maxime Lapierre. I like Maxime Lapierre too. Maxime Lapierre's got a podcast coming out in English. You guys gonna listen to that one? I love that 6'7" farmer who never plays but pitched them to victory. Philippe Aumont. Philippe Aumont. Oh, Panarin robbed by Dobesh. Philippe Aumont was a huge MLB prospect. He never panned out, but the guy can throw. I love that Aumont comes back every so often to the WBC. He also pitched a great game. If you want to look it up, I think it was in 2019 in the Premier 12. He played against Cuba and he threw like 7 innings and just like shut them out. It was one of the best Canadian baseball performances I'd ever seen. So shout out to Philippe Aumont. They have to ride Dobesh here on in. I think so. Only reason to not do it is if they have serious issues about his ability to play that many games. Otherwise, he is coming from college, so I don't know what his workloads have been like historically. Oh, Hellenius with a really nice chance, and Dobesh, man, keeping him in so far. Derek O'Coin, another great Canadian ball player. R.I.P. Can't deny Dobesh is looking good so far. So just to let me check. Dobesh's career high in games is 51 for the Laval Rocket 2 years ago. He has currently played 29 games this year, so he could definitely take on a lot of games for sure. He played 30 last year, only 30 last year between Laval and Montreal. Oh, 33. I forgot he did play 3 playoff games. It's refreshing. Yeah. I like to see a goalie make saves. When you make the playoffs, you stick with one goalie. Dobesh needs to play every game. It is. We are basically in playoff mode now, aren't we? Uh, Like at this point, every point counts. So yeah, maybe you do just ride Dobesh as long as you can. Again, shots on nets. The opposing teams are constantly leading the Habs after the first and second. Mark likes Dobesh. Monty, not so much. Max says, well, most of those shots came on the PP. Well, shots are shots. PP shots are even more likely to go in. Mark says, I'm reading on Twitter that Fowler is expected to be called up next week. No idea if it's true, but I sure hope so. Well, Fowler just came back from an injury last night. So I think they're going to wait a little bit. I do think that we will see Fowler up again. The one issue that I see is that like Laval has a magic number to get to the playoffs, and they're getting pretty close to it. I could see them riding Fowler, clinching a playoff berth, and then bringing Fowler up here. But he's not a guarantee. I think he's the best of the three goalies. I do, but uh, there's risk to harm both teams by calling him up. So I think they'll be careful about it. I don't think it'll happen next week, unless I don't know, unless Dobesh really just shits the bed tonight and they don't trust anyone. Oh, really nice try there by the Habs off the rush. Looks like we're gonna have to wait for the third. Harry says, "Yeah, that's what it's looking like." Man, Hellenius all over the ice tonight. Who's this kid? It's not Consta Hellenius, is it? That's a Sammy Hellenius. Samuel Hellenius. Oh, he's a big dude. Oh, he's got to be Riku Hellenius' kid, right? Because he's born in Dallas, Texas. Karen asks, why has Hellenius played for so many teams? I think this particular Hellenius has only played for the Kings. His dad was the Hellenius that played in Dallas. And then there's also Consta Hellenius, who's a prospect for Buffalo. So there's actually multiple Hellenii, Hellenics, multiple Helleniuses out there. But this particular Hellenius is only in his second season, and he's played both with the Kings. But yeah, he's a big boy. Josh Anderson with a nice turnover. I mean, this is the kind of team Josh Anderson should have a good night against. They're a little slower, a little more physical. He can be physical with them. His speed can take advantage. I'd like to see a good night from Josh Anderson. Nick Suzuki on pace for 93 points. Man, it feels like more, but hey, that's still impressive. Dobson turned it over, but Matheson's going to take care of that guy pretty easily. Or not. He didn't. It's 1-0 Kings. Matheson. That is zoinks. That was a really gnarly play because the Kings were not working with a lot of speed here, and I don't really know. So Gallagher tries to pass it to Dobson in the offensive zone, leads to a turnover. Matheson ices out his guy, and then like Dobson and Gallagher are just like lazily not taking Kopitar, who goes back door. That was bad. I would put the blame on Suzuki for the turnover in the offensive zone, Dobson and Gallagher for not getting back. Uh, you've got Matheson on there, but I feel like Matheson won his battle with his guy, and then another guy came in, and nobody took that guy. So I don't know. I don't blame Matheson too much on that one, but that was a bad. Either way, it was an awful goal. Max says, complete defensive breakdown. Mark says, pathetic game so far. One shot on goal. Michael says, Arbor will pay for Matheson's flub. Karen predicted 11 shots. They're at 10 right now. But yeah, that was not a great. Dobson out of place. We don't need more D men. We need D men that defend. Yeah, I do think the next defenseman they get will be more of a stay-at-home variety. Maybe we shouldn't have traded Logan or Covey since we seem to be desperate for right-handed D-men. Well, Logan, I don't think is necessarily ready for prime time, and Kovacevic, how's he been doing? He was injured for a really long time. But yeah, Kovacevic was always a guy that I was kind of like, yeah, keep him around as a third pairing guy. Max says more Jack Eye than expected. Yeah, against LA. Mark's gonna enter panic mode if the Habs lose this game, so they'll have to come back. LA on a 40 shot pace. Habs are on a 6 shot pace. Oh, Hellenius battles through. It's 2-0. So they're saying maybe goalie interference, but I don't know about that one. I mean, goodness gracious, Hellenius is so big. Malat was the one who kind of collided with the net, though. Okay, so just to clear things up, it is still 1-0. Jeff Malort fell on after charging the net, fell on Dobesh. Jack Eye still takes a penalty for grabbing Malott. Uh, so the Kings will get back on the power play. The power play, which over one. So Jack Eye to the box though. Still not a great play. The Kings had 5 shots. No, they did not need to challenge. The officials did it all themselves. Probably won't see much of the X-Man for this game. Man, that's how big the Kings are. Malot and Hellenius just like out muscled Jack Eye. That's not easy to do. Yeah, Dobish hung out to dry so far. This is there you go. Panarin falls. That's the only way the Habs get a break here. But goodness gracious, 14-1 in shots so far. All Kings right now. Now Suzuki's able to get the puck up to center ice while the penalty expires, but the Habs can't get anything going. There you go, Slav. You gonna do this? Ugh, weird pass by Suzuki there. I'm not really sure what he was. And Suzuki with a bad penalty, and then takes with a bad pass, and then takes a bad penalty. What a terrible penalty for Suzuki. I don't think he needed to do that to Byfield. I got to say. Is this the worst first period of the year? They've had some bad ones. I don't know if this is the worst one because it's 1-0, but um, weren't they down like when that Colorado game when they got their asses kicked? Weren't they down like 4-0 after the first period or something? But they're playing terrible tonight. Don't get me wrong. They are cursed against the Kings. Max was hoping for 60 minutes. We did not get 60 minutes. Oh, nice save by Dobesh on Panarin. Panarin was looking for. Yeah, sometime around the mid third period, the Habs are gonna take over. We got 23 seconds left in the first, 36 seconds left on the Kings power play with an offensive zone faceoff and Panarin shooting daggers at everybody. He looks like he wants to score tonight. But it looks like the Habs are going to be able to clear, and Kings will get one last rush here. Okay, that's that. Well, that period absolutely blew chunks. Zoinks. 16-1 in shots, guys. I don't even know what to tell you. Go Leafs, go. They're down, what are they? Down 3-1 right now? Is that what I saw? It's only one goal game. I know. These Canadians, man. You never know. Watched the first two sets and had to run out. Glad Diallo won. Really? Diallo beat Aliasim? Damn. Yeah, Toby keeping him in him. Curious, did the Habs spend the day at the beach drinking buds? Hey, I spent the day at the beach drinking buds, and I'm still here. Habs have no excuse. 16-1. Wonder if coaching will make any excuses about the players in front of the goalie. Max, with simple math here, you can't give up 3 power plays in a period. You really can't. Darcy, hello. Brutal, you say. Will Marty come out waving a white flag to start the second period? He has never done that in his life, and these Canadians have been pretty good at coming back. So I would not put it past the Canadians to magically figure this one out, but still tough. That is why the shots are skewed, the power plays. The only positive after that period is the score. They can't play worse, so there's still hope in the second. I got a question, guys. I got an intermission question. All right, that's my question for you guys. This is likely the last time the Canadians will ever meet Anze Kopitar, barring a finals appearance somehow or something like that. Knowing what you know now, would you have drafted him ahead of Carey Price? That's my question for you. Let me know what you think. Think of the positives and negatives here. Let a little bit of answers percolate. Okay. Waiting on some answers here. Homo Hoshalaga says no, would not have traded, would not have drafted Kopitar. Ryan says Canadians must be a top three third period team. That's a different question. Max says yes. He would have traded. He would draft Kopitar over Price. Max also says, will Eric chug a beer live on camera tonight? No, no. I'm just sipping tonight. This beer's this. They're not my sponsor. This is I just picked this up at the grocery store because it was like on sale, and it's I think I understand why it's on sale. It's not the smoothest. It's not terrible, but it's not the smoothest beer in the world. Wasn't that Jack's question? Yes, but Jack is my colleague, and I promote his work. It's not my question. I'm taking his article and I'm giving it to you. I want to know what you think. But yes, Jack wrote the column. Jack wrote the column, but inspired by Jack's column, I want to know your answer. Max never a big Price fan. Apple Tile says yes, the club would have been much more offensive minded. Rick Wood says Ken Dryden wouldn't have helped with the mismanagement of the team and forward, so the answer is no. Ryan says, well, we had Theodore and Hewitt at the time, so I say yes. Kelly says this is a tough one because the Habs never won a cup with the Price, but the Kings did win with Kopitar. They sure did. They also did have a little guy named Drew Doughty though, which might have helped, and Jonathan Quick. Makes no sense to draft Kopitar ahead of Price. Both Hall of Famers. I will say, had they drafted Kopitar, life still would have been pretty good. Either way, you get a Hall of Famer. Kopitar would have been in a quicksand situation. There would have been a lot of hype on that guy to figure out their problems. Usually, a team builds around their high draft picks and becomes either offensive or defensive minded. That is true. Depending on how the team drafts and how like you are molded by your best players. So if your best player is the goalie, you do kind of mold your team around the goalie. If your best player is a defenseman, you kind of mold around the defenseman. That is fair. And right now, the Canadiens are built around their forwards and they're very active defensemen. I wouldn't call them defensive defensemen; they're very active defensemen. Oh, we got another one. Michael Paul says yes. Would have drafted Kopitar. Fun trivia or fun fact from Sportsnet: 79% of the Canadiens' goals this year have come from players 26 and younger. Darcy says yes because you build up the middle. That's a good point. This Habs team is indeed built with young blood. Here. How many players on the Habs roster are currently 26 and under? Is a good question. Just looking at who's on there tonight. So Caulfield, Suzuki, Newhook, Slavkovsky, Bolduc, Doc, Kapanen, Demidov. That's eight. Nine Gooley, 10 Hudson, 11 Dobson, 12 Jack. So 12 on the roster tonight. And then obviously, I guess some other guys, or Struble, somebody else. Texier? Texier is still pretty young. Is there inability to play a 16-minute game on the coaches, players, or both? To me, this is a culture problem. I think it's a youth problem. I think they're just young. They're just a young team, and they're inconsistent. That would be my. I think it's a youth problem. Is my feeling. If somebody disagrees, feel free to chime in. That's why they have coaches. Yeah, but a coach is not gonna like magically whip you into shape in like a day. They're super talented. They're a little inconsistent, but they're not gonna like instantly be super 365 playing the best all the time. Like these things do take time. They are still a very young team. I think the expectation, and if you want a guy who's gonna whip the team and punish guys who don't play 60 minutes, and you want to have like a John Tortorella there, then you're gonna have a fired coach in 2 years and a team that's gonna be burned out and hating life. So there's like a bit of a balance there. You don't want to be too soft on them, obviously, but no, but they instill work ethic. I think the team works. They're not consistent, but this team still wins a lot more than they lose. Like they're not a bad team. They're just not a consistent team. But that's so yes, there is a lot of coaching that like they need to get better. Like no doubt. They want to contend for a cup. They need to be a lot better than they are. There's no doubt about that. But I do think that like consistency is going to be a little more of a long-term progression here. I don't think it'll be instant. And I don't think that there's any like coach that can like magically make it happen. Like it's gonna happen, or they'll get rid of guys that But we'll see. Young players have short memories, and it takes a while to build good habits. I think that's like a good way to put it. It's like really about like Joel Quenville isn't easy to play for, but he's pretty effective. Yeah, but the Ducks might not make the playoffs, and they let in more goals than the Habs do. They won last night, but go look at the Ducks' goals allowed. They're not a good defensive team. They have the exact same problem that the Canadiens do. Tons of talent and haven't they don't play like consistently good all the time. And they're in tough to make the playoffs. So Joe Quenneville's good coach. Would never have come to Montreal for because of the controversy of his time in Chicago, and I don't think Molson would ever want to deal with that again after drafting Mailloux. So look, I'm not saying Quenneville's not a good coach. He is a good coach, but they have the same problems that the Habs do. They're not quite there yet. Robertson had a breakaway. They called a penalty shot and then they reversed the call. It's only Quenneville's first year. Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna. Yeah, I mean, look, we don't know what's gonna happen. Basically, we don't know what the future. They could tune him. They could tune him out real fast, or he could be the right guy for the job in Anaheim. I'm not 100% sure. Um, Keep in mind that they do have Gudis and Truba on defense, who are for now, still relatively effective, but we'll see how long for. They are getting a little older. Logan Mailloux is looking pretty good right now. He's a good prospect. The Habs just didn't want to, at a certain point, just didn't want to deal. You know what I mean? It's life, guys. I told you earlier about like trades and stuff. A lot of this stuff like is not just like on the ice based. There's lots of reasons why people come and go. Brian Katz says Quenneville was the scapegoat for Chicago's upper management not helping Kyle Beach. There's a lot of guys who got away with it in Chicago, for sure. I mean, Stan Bowman still got a gig. Bergevin still has a gig. Um, I do think that Quenneville got, um, you know, he got what he got. Other guys probably knew more than he did and got away with it. So it seems to be all, they're all back now. They're all back in the league. So it is what it is. But the Canadiens would never have. Never mind the fact that Joe Quenneville, despite his name, I don't believe his French is particularly good. Offensive-minded teams, even if they lose, are entertaining. They sure are. Wasn't Logan Mailloux the guy who was arrested? He was indeed uh, charged and fined, I believe, in the end, for what he did, and then he asked to not be drafted, and then was drafted, and it set off a whole thing where I'm sure Jeffrey Molson had to make some phone calls and was not happy about it. I don't find this brand of hockey entertaining, to be honest. What are you talking about? You didn't find the last two games entertaining? The last two games were balls to the wall crazy. That's a lot of fun. Then again, I saw the 70s team. Yeah, but there is no 70s team anymore. It's not the 1970s anymore. There are 32 teams in the league now. There's a salary cap. Uh, it ain't that. That team ain't coming back. So I would say that the last two games were incredibly entertaining. Ah, there you go, Mark. I went to high school with Joel. He does not speak French. There you go. Well, then he was never would never have come to the Montreal Canadiens. Back for the second period. Well, holy moly, that first period was a disaster. So we shall see. We shall see what happens. Canadians got to play way better. The period does start actually with about 8 seconds or so of power play time for the Kings, allowing the Habs to dump it down the ice. Celebrini looks like he has a higher gear than Bedard when it comes to talent. Macklin Celebrini, I can safely say, and this is not a slight on Connor Bedard, who is also a very good player, but Macklin Celebrini, I think, is a generationally talented and amazing player. Like, he's the kind of guy that might win MVP awards. Connor Bedard is a very good player, but Celebrini is like another level. That guy's insane. That guy's what a player he is. Suzuki is struggling tonight. He is. He is. I didn't like his penalty that he took, and he started the giveaway that led to the goal. As always, you hope nothing's wrong with him. Mayu has picked up his game. A number of people say to Montreal won with Bolduc. Both will be good. I mean, that was the thing, right? When you trade a forward for a defenseman like that, the defenseman's always going to take longer. So yeah, anybody who was like guaranteed win for the Habs, you had to hold tight. Well, Mayu has a lot of talent and just needs to learn how to play defense, but he's a physical specimen, that's for sure. Celebrini can play both sides of the ice. Hey, Blue, by the way. Um, Bedard, not as much. Yeah, Celebrini's like already an MVP candidate. Oh my God, showing some highlights of Dobish. Eric, call out Karen's name. She was watching something else. What, you want me to tell Karen to come back? Karen, come back. Is that what you're asking me to do? Yeah, come back. We are back. Second period is here. Max says, I think they've played way too soft so far in this game. But then again, they're also a soft team. There you go, Kirby Doc with a shot. So it's finally a second shot on goal for the Habs. Or it took a mere 3 minutes basically to get the second shot. Oh wait, Karen's back. Okay, it worked. Hey! Jake Evans with a shot from the point. Oh, it's because Hudson's behind the net. I was like, why is Evans where he is? And why is there a Kings player just standing in the net? Oh, don't. DJ Smith's looking into this one, but yes, there is a. They do have a review. The first was not a review, not reviewed. It was the officials looked into it. That would be a pretty weak interference call if they challenge. Yeah. What's going on here? Oh, okay. Whatever. No, it's a good goal. There was no challenge. Everything is fine. Well, there you go. 3 shots on goal and it's tied up at one. Life ain't fair sometimes. And Bolduc and Doc, this line, man, I don't hate it. I don't hate this line. I have to say, not a conventional third line, but they've got some talent. Oh, you like seeing that. LA outplaying us badly. Coach probably figured they're in a good position, not worth the challenge. Well, I think if they thought that they could win the challenge, they would challenge. No point to not twist the knife in a little more, right? Habs are number one for percentage of shots versus goals. Yeah, they don't shoot a whole lot, this team. We've pointed out on numerous occasions, but they do. They are what, the second best team on offense right now? At some point, you have to scratch other forwards. Mark says the Habs needs a power play. Yeah, they're due. How did Arbor get back on the ice? Someone call Marty. That's funny. Derek says they're right on us. No time or space. They're looking pretty good so far, though. Period. This after the goal, they seem to have been buoyed a little bit. Oh, nice job, Cat. Look at Kapanen. Yeah, look at Kapanen down low. Beat out Kopitar to the net. That's a great play. You like seeing that. So 16-3 in shots currently. Oh, Kopitar with a nice shot off the rush, and Tobish makes the stop. Evans, I mean, you guys know he's a streaky goal scorer. That one. He's only scored 10 goals in a season. He's only done it twice. Obviously, last year when he secured his contract, and then his first full season as a Hab, he scored 13 in it as well. He's got 9 so far. It looks like he's going to hit 10 pretty clear. Not a bad season for Evans in the end, I will say. Started off a little slow, but Evans has been good. Florian took a beating in the Laval game today. He skated away, but you hope he's okay. Kirby Doc did push the guy towards the net, but the player didn't make any effort to avoid the goalie. So I guess the coach said, to hell with it. Yeah, that's kind of what happened. Wasn't much of a bump. Montreal's strategy is lull the opposing goalie to sleep, take a few shots, sneak goals by the goalie who's half asleep. 200% increase in shots on goal in the second period. You love it. At least they're showing some signs of life. So, out of curiosity, how would you rate Evans this season? We don't talk about Jakey Evans that much, but he's in every game, plays every game, takes lots of big faceoffs, kills lots of penalties, scores a couple goals. How you feeling about Jake Evans this season? Same old from him? You think he's playing a little better? You think he's playing a little worse? Let me know. Ooh, Dobesh nearly with an awful giveaway behind the net. Oh, Josh Anderson breakaway. Ooh, big stop by Kemper. Nice play by Josh, though. Rick Wood says, Jake Evans playing about the same. Yeah. Hey, it's good. Hey, consistency is good in this league. It's nice to have a fourth line center that you can rely upon. Solid. That is the word used for Evans, I would say. That was a nice pass by Suzuki. Didn't look great in the first period, but that was nice. Derek says we're skating much better this period. Yeah, I agree. What's the Mark Messier trophy? Isn't that for leadership? It's like a leadership trophy. Best exhibiting of a leader or something like that. Have Montreal won a game in LA in the 2020s? Don't believe they have. Nope. Yes, exactly. I was just looking it up. Mark got there before me. Last Habs win in LA was November of 2019. Evans, reliable. Yeah, solid, reliable, good player. They're probably pretty happy they re-signed him in the end. Smart move. Oh, Ward to Byfield. Byfield had a nice shot that Dobesh made the save, but it just kind of trickled away. Evans is worth every penny that they pay him. That's true. He does have a nice contract. Yeah, Habs are 6-1 in shots. I guess 6-2 now, right? You got scared for Evans when he took that dirty hit by Shifley in Winnipeg. Oh, Karen and Rick both agree that the Evans contract is A-OK. We have a moratorium on the hit, on the you know what hit. Ooh, Slav busting in. Ah, you'd love to see him cut inside on one of those. Instead, he tried to flip the backhand over Kemper, but you don't have a lot of room on those ones. Those are tough. He got the backhand high though. I mean, we're tied at 1-1. We're now midway through the game. Better second period so far. Nice play by Saf. Needs to do that more often. Looked very strong. I know. I thought he was going to cut inside. It would have been nice. Crosby out. Now Malkin out. The Pens are in danger. I know. I felt that that playoff spot was always a little tenuous anyway, and now it definitely is. Everybody in our division got better at the deadline. How does that bode for us? Did they though? Did they get like a lot better? I don't know. Buffalo got what? Shen, Stanley, and who's the other guy they got? They didn't get like a lot better. And they didn't get Pareko. If they got Pareko, I'd be like, sure. And then Detroit got Falk and some other guy. Oh, LaFerriere. Oh, big shot off the end boards. And then Boston didn't get better. And then Columbus got Garland. That's pretty good ad actually. Garland's good. So I don't know. They didn't get people. I don't think anybody did like. Oh, Suzuki at the post. Ah, ah, man, so much patience on that play. Had all the time in the world. Kemper completely beat. He ripped it off the post. Damn. The Habs should have traded for Luke Shen. That is who I thought the Habs might be interested in, like a depth right defenseman. And there is no depth right defenseman than Luke Shen. Habs better watch out. They might take a penalty here. They got pretty close to taking a penalty right there. Oh, Kempe falling down on the one timer, but still. But yeah, I'm a little surprised the Habs didn't get any depth on defense. Because if somebody gets hurt, then they got to have Struble and Jacka every night, who they don't fully trust. And then they don't have anyone to call up. Engstrom is out. and they're actually down to 5 defensemen in Laval because a couple guys got hurt. So, and you're not calling up Reinbacher and putting him in that situation. So I thought they were going to acquire like, a John Merrill, Mike Weaver type to be the seventh defenseman. I thought they were going to do that. I'm surprised they didn't even do that. But I guess without trading Line, they really just didn't have the cap room to even do like a minor move like that. I guess Del Gaizo can be the call up. Where's Corey Sheneman? Where's Corey Sheneman when you need him? Ooh, that's gonna be icing. The Habs defensemen are all offensive minded. Where are you, Josh Georges? I wish they had Josh. Josh Georges was great, man. Solid defenseman in his day. Pareko didn't want to go to Buffalo. Wait a sec. Where's Bergevin now? Yeah, I think the Habs caught a little bit of a break with Pareko not wanting to go to Buffalo. That would have been not that the Habs are even, I think, competing with Buffalo at this point. I think Buffalo is going to have second place in the division locked up. Canadians to me are really battling for third in the division with Detroit and Boston. And I'm feeling pretty good about the Habs against those two teams. I got to tell you. I mean, Detroit haven't made the playoffs in a million billion years. They really do need to make the playoffs. I'm sure Iserman is gone if they don't make it. So, do I sound like Tony right now? I can't yell. I don't have the lung capacity to get as excited as Tony, I have to say. That man has endless energy. I'm in awe of it. I do this for 3 hours and I like need to sleep for 6 days. Oof, Kempe cutting inside. Lost the handle of it, but a really good chance for him. This big, heavy Kopitar Kempe line is having a good shift. It's 2010 in shots, by the way. 5:37 left in the period. Oh, Kopitar fed Anderson fed Kopitar, who broke in on all alone, and Dobish able to keep it out. That feels like that's going to be offside by like a million years, but maybe not. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Slavkovsky. Oh, what a goal by Slavkovsky. That is one of the nicest goals I've ever seen Uri Slavkovsky score. Took the puck off the boards, circled in front, roofed it on Kemper, top corner shot. Wow. Wowie zowie. Mon Dieu, Mark says. Goodness gracious. Look at Slavkovsky along the boards, top of circle, right into the slot. What feed am I on? I'm on the Sportsnet feed. On Saturdays, I got to watch on Sportsnet because it's not our RDS feed is always super good. And then Sportsnet feed is a little behind. I know, but they don't show the game on RDS on the weekend, and my TVA feed does not work right now. I don't know why. Kelly Morgan says, "Nice shot and goal." Well, there you go, guys. The Canadiens get outshot 16-1 in the first period. They look like absolute trash, and then they score 2 goals in the second period, and they are now leading 2-1 against the Kings. No, that's what I'm saying. My TVA feed doesn't work. Doesn't work. It doesn't work on. It works on my TV. It doesn't work on my. When I live stream, I have a multi computer setup because the TV is too big to me. It's it's confusing, but basically, I need to have like the multiple laptops set up, and for some reason, my TVA account does not work on my laptop. It only works on my TV. I should probably not subscribe anymore, but that is I gotta ask, was that the nicest Slavkovsky goal we've seen this season? It was nice. Wow, it's Slav's first goal since the Olympics. Mark says, I think so. It was a beauty. Derek says, Slav is quietly becoming a force of nature. You need to get the shots on goal reduced in the first. Absolutely. Most nights you allow 16 shots in a period, you're not winning, and they still might not win tonight. The first period was a disaster, but the Canadiens do have a strange way of, we talked a bit about their inconsistency. They do have a way of being able to shut off a bad period and then come back strong. Oh, jeez. That was a weird bounce. Ugh. Slav or Dobesh, man, lost the puck. Man, that was not a great goal allowed by Dobesh. I don't know what he was thinking. He just lost track of the puck on the little Latin spinorama. Habs killer Scott Latin. I thought that the Kings with Fiala were maybe gonna, with Fiala hurt, were maybe gonna uh, give up on the season. But then there you go. They went for Lawton. Bad goal, but he needs to keep his head held high. He's been salted. I will say that I don't find that Dobesh gets rattled much about bad goals. He gives them up, but he doesn't get rattled. So I think it's. I'm not too worried about it. Did that go off Matheson's skate? It did not. It looks like it just went clean off him. Yeah, Dobish scored on himself. It did hit his skate. And he just seemed to lose track of Lawton. Didn't seem to be watching. There's a minute 15. Hey, Habs coming up the ice. They can try something. All right, we're in the final minute of the second period. Puck is in the Canadian zone. Oh! Dobesh! What a stop by Dobesh, man. He was sprawled out. Flips up the pad a little bit. Makes the stop. Dobesh pulled off some big saves. He's had a good night tonight. I know he's given up 2 goals, but he has absolutely kept them in it tonight. All right, period over. Say hi to Mel. If you don't say hi to Mel, I'm banning you for life. All right? I have that power. That was nice save by Dobesh. Saved them. Dobesh just pulled off some big saves. Speaking of our rival neighbor, the Leafs, they're down 4-1. They're done. They're toast. They're Tostitos. They should have done more. Blues offseason upgrade wish list. Struble, Arbor, Carrier get true number one goalie. Dobesh backup. Monty gone. The Expos insulted Dawson before the 87 season. That's why he preferred the Cubs cap. Dawson preferred. Wait, why are we talking about Andre Dawson? Where did we get into Dawson? Oh yes, Dawson has wanted this to be Cubs cap since the beginning. He said it in the press conference. There's also, so I'll cut him some slack. He is right in that the Expos screwed him on contract negotiations, and that's why he left. And then obviously his knees were getting beat up on the turf. The other thing is that Andre, and he's about his money, and he stands on business, and I respect that. There is more money to be made by being a Cubs Hall of Famer in 2026 than there is being an Expos Hall of Famer in 2026. Not that he can't go to Chicago and get a hero's welcome every time, but it means more, so he's trying. I'm cool with that. The only reason why they don't let the player choose, because if you remember, Wade Boggs took a check from Tampa Bay to go in as a Ray, and then they changed the rule. They may not expand in EU, but they may expand the four nation to more nations to raise interest. I mean, they might bring back like the World Cup, right? Then it's not the four nations anymore. Then they'll bring back the World Cup, or even better, the Canada Cup. That's why Guerrero spent the last 10 years saying he wanted to go into the Expo, but changed his mind when he made the Hall of Fame. Yeah, because you get to go. Wow, I mean, an Angel. Well, no, Angels are still good taste. Still a good team, still around. So you definitely better. Yeah, Carolina. I'm so they were just saying they were just talking on CBC that Carolina and Trocheck seemed like a foregone conclusion, and it didn't happen. Carolina not making a deal is strange to me because I think they had the cap room. They're far and away the best team in their division. They haven't been able to get past the third round. This is the season I think the East is wide open for them for the taking. They decided to stand pat with what they have. Hey, They're really good already. Maybe they don't need to get anybody, but I'm a little surprised. I thought maybe they would want somebody. Lord knows they've been trying to ship off Kotkaniemi for a while. Apple Tile says, I felt a little cheated that Russia didn't have a team in the Olympics because they have some incredible players. Yeah, I mean, it's very unfortunate. Yeah. Chris Nyland talked a little bit about it too, where he was like, you know, the players aren't Putin, but, he gets it. Guerrero doesn't become an angel without his amazing years in Montreal. So you guys know I'm a Giants fan. Vladdy should have signed with the Giants over the Angels. I'm still bitter about it. Let me tell you about it. Let me tell you about it. Still bitter. Giants will be good this year, though. I'm feeling good about it. Gary Carter wanted a Mets cap over the Expos cap. Absolutely, he did. Carter wanted the Mets cap. Again, for that reason that he could go to New York and market himself and be a Mets Hall of Famer. Also, the reason that he gave as well that was like a little more understandable was he's like, well, I won a World Series with the Mets, and I didn't with the Expos. Fair. Nobody wants to be an Expo. It was political. Montreal wanted a Canadian goalie, an Aboriginal one. What? That's not at all what happened. I don't think people even knew. I don't think people even knew Carey Price was Aboriginal when they drafted him. I feel like people only realized that one after. And then how does that help in Montreal? In Montreal, they want you to draft the Quebec player. They don't care about guys from the rest of Canada. I think you're off on that one, my friend. Mark says, I'm with Jack Todd. Price was brilliant in the first years of his career, but ordinary later on. Would have loved to have Kopitar. Miss Mel says, oh boy, is he bitter. Is this Andre Dawson you're talking about? Andre Dawson is is known as quite a bitter guy. Except for Tim Raines, who gladly wanted to go in as an Expo. Tim Raines just wanted to go to the Hall of Fame. Did he make it in the end? What the hell happened there? There was a Yes, he made it in his 10th and final ballot. You know what? That was the whole deal with Tim. Tim just desperately wanted to get in there. I'm bitter. Oh, bitter about the Giants not getting Vladimir Guerrero. Yes. I'm more bitter about Giants things than I am than anything Habs related. I'll tell you that much. Don't be so candid. I'm not very candid. I don't have very strong opinions. I don't have very strong, other than Giants stuff. I don't have strong opinions about anything. Or the World Baseball Classic. I have strong opinions about the World Baseball Classic. I hope you guys are watching, by the way. Canada won today. Brazil's in it for some reason, and like Manny Ramirez's son is in it for Brazil. It was like a high school pitcher in Brazil, like going up against the Dominicans and the American. He struck out Aaron Judge, I think. What a strange little tournament the World Baseball Classic is. I do love it. Ryan says I'm always bitter about the 1994 MLB strike killing our Expos. That was the beginning of the end. Have you guys watched? We talked a little bit about it when it came out. Did you guys end up watching the Netflix documentary "Who Killed the Montreal Expos"? Let me know what you think. I don't have Netflix. I didn't watch it. I don't have Netflix. Somebody was gonna get me a like a download code, and they never got me the download code. Uh, oh, I wanted to also share another. I wanted to share one more article with you guys. Herb Zukowski on Sammy Blais, talking about Sammy Blais in Laval, and he's ready to go. So very curious to know if you guys think we'll see Sammy Blais again. Will Sammy Blais make it back to the Canadiens? I know it's already a packed house at forward with the Habs, with Texier and Line and Valeno looking to get back in. But you know what? Sammy Blais kind of fits like more what they might want from a playoff team. So I do wonder if he gets back in there. Apple Tile says Pete Rose, man, Charlie Hustle must be rolling his grave now that betting is so prominent in sports, and he was kept out of the Hall of Fame. I know, isn't that crazy? I don't condone what Pete Rose did, and you definitely should not bet on sports when you're a professional athlete, especially the games that you are involved in. Um, that being said, uh, it's just going to get more and more of a problem as we see more sports gambling linking up. You know, we just saw Giannis for the Bucks sign up with not Polymarket, but like the competition with Polymarket. Um, I mean, you guys know you watch Hockey Night in Canada, and it's nothing but gambling ads. There's a controversy in baseball right now. There are two pitchers who may have cost Cleveland a World Series by tipping their pitches for gamblers. It's terrible. It's terrible that gambling has become so prevalent in sports. Yeah, no, Harry, P. Rose earned that lifetime ban, but like now it's become like even more common. I guess is the whole thing. Ryan Katz blames Brochu's partner who forced the fire sales. Well, that's the thing, right? At the end of the day, there was many possibilities for local owners to step in and the minority owners to step in and pay the bills and get the Expos back on track, and they refused to do so. Aislin's book on the Expos is great. I'm glad you brought up Aislinn. Aislinn has a new book, guys. You need to pick up the new Aislinn book. It's the 50th anniversary of the 76 Olympics this year, and he has an Olympic book that just came out. He was the guest on Corner Booth this week, so go check it out. He gives a story about he calls Rene Levesque a son of a bitch, but like in the old school way, like in a term of endearment. He goes, that son of a bitch. So if you like that kind of stuff, go check out the Corner Booth this week. 99.4 killed the Expos. So sad. I miss that team. Used to go to many games. So did I. I miss baseball too, especially springtime, especially right now. All right, third periods here. 2-2 Habs and Kings. It is 26-13 in shots. I'm going to assume that shot by Suzuki will count. Hello, Morgenthaler. That's a classic Aislinn punchline. Blais has intensity, physicality, and grit, and that's a no. No, I do think on the fourth line he might find his way back in. Karen says I met Aislinn in Knowlton, and you have the Expo book. He's so nice. Oh, I'm glad to hear you had a good experience. Ooh, Caulfield with the one timer. He took a little spill on that one. Ryan Katz says when I was a team, I buy bleacher tickets on weekend games. Oh yeah, it was nice to buy. Man, you could get like $5 tickets, $10 tickets. I used to go all the time too. I used to take the bus after school, the West Island bus after school downtown. Hop on the metro. Good memories. Ah, Bold Duke with a perfect one. He got set up really nicely by Evans in the slot, and he fanned on the one-timer attempt. Ah, those are the kind. Bold Duke's not a guy who's going to be noticeable all night, but he's good at getting into the shooting lanes, and he's got to make those. And then you're happy with what you get from him. And we've seen a lot of these pluggers for the Kings, like Ward and Hellenius and Malot. These big dudes. Oof. Yeah, Hellenius with another chance. Dobesh down. 23 games without a Bold Duke goal. Man, I sure hope he doesn't turn out to be a bust. Really? Has it been that long? It's been hard because they haven't really found him like a good lineup spot. He's kind of moved up and down the lineup, and for a guy in his second season, I don't think it's like a great. Dobish bailed out Jackeye. Get Arbor off the ice, we hear. All right. Well, the Kings have come out a little hard here. Habs need to get back in this. Caulfield must have thought last night was Saturday. I know. Where's Mr. Saturday Night tonight? We haven't seen the magic yet. Did you see Dobson not covering, costing a goal? You mean the first goal? The first goal off the giveaway, and then he didn't come back. Yeah, if that's the one you're talking about. Unless a goal happens right here and my feed is behind. No. Hello, Bob. Thanks for joining. Hey, you've come here and it's all square. It's 2-2. Habs and Kings with 14:20 left in the third period. My feed's a little bit behind, so I've been told. It is the Sportsnet feed. Money well spent, eh? Oh, CC with a shot. And the Kings looking pretty good off the rush there. You were lucky you missed the first period. That's true. Bob, you did not miss a whole lot in the first period. Dobish has good rebound control, Ryan says. I don't know what this. I missed this conversation. I don't know what this is about. That's okay. Nice back checking by Doc. I know Doc is such a strange case. It seems like he almost does better on the third line with like maybe a more simplified game. I feel like when he was on the first line, he was like trying to do. He played really well for like the first like 5 or 6 games, and then he tried to do too much, and like it didn't work out. I don't know, kind of weird. Arbor is a bottom pairing D man, and it's not Marty's fault. Yeah, he is what he is. Hey, he's playing. Sabres won again. Blue Jackets losing. The Blue Jackets losing is pivotal. It looks like it once again this playoff race is going to come down to Columbus and Montreal, like it did last year. This time, I think Montreal's got a little bit of runway here. There's also Boston kind of in the way, but I don't know. I don't think Boston's very good, to be honest. I'm not that worried about them. And I think the Habs are better than Detroit, to be honest. Oof. Tobish has to lunge out of his crease to stop the puck. The broadcast is like a real shame they lost Fiala. Well, it was also a real shame that my fantasy team lost Fiala, and it's 3-2. That was a good 3-4 minutes of the Kings just being in the zone, firing pucks on the net. This is where the Kings excel, man. They've got a lot of big bodies down low. They got, was it Byfield in front of the net, Laferriere in front of the net, and they just fire a point shot. And they just like they don't even wait. They just fire, 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 fire. Brent Clark fired the shot from the point, and it's 3-2 Kings. And the Canadians like will not do likewise. They won't put the shots on net that the Kings do, and the Canadians really do need to just work on putting shots on net. Cause yeah, Kings just had two guys down low, ready to bat on that rebound. Clark took a pretty harmless shot, but when you got lots of bodies in front, like you just never know what can happen. What's happening defensively to this team? Players have way too much space. Teams have just figured out you could just send guys up the middle, and the Canadians will kind of give it up to you. The Canadians need to figure something out here. Because right now, teams like know the playbook, and the Canadians seem to give up the middle of the ice way too much. Ah, oh, Gooley tried to center it to Doc. That was a nice try. But now the Kings have it the other way. All right, now we've got some end-to-end hockey. Should help the Habs if they can keep the speed, keep the tempo up. Yeah, Habs playing with a third period deficit. Oh snap! Timur's here. Good to see you, old friend. It's been a while. You missed. You missed. I mean, Caulfield's got 16 goals in his last 14 games before tonight, but he's not having a good night tonight. So, welcome back. More problems with big teams. Yeah, and the Kings aren't even a very good team. Like they're probably not going to make the playoffs. But they're still a big team, and the Habs seem to be having trouble with them. Hey, Arminio, good to see you again. Our D-men always get out muscled at the net. Yeah. But you know what? It's whatever. We can say what we want about Jack Guy. How is he doing tonight anyway? Jack Guy's got 8 minutes and he's +2 tonight. Just saying. Just saying. If you want a big tough D man out there, I know a guy. He's +2 tonight. I mean, again, the Kings are just dominating right now. This is. Oof. Matheson slamming the bench door. Zoinks. Matheson's not happy. Matheson has not played super great since the break, I will say. This whole defense, man, they're just like not. I don't know. I like the defensemen that they have individually, but as a group, I'm definitely starting to see like there's an element missing here. Their physical guys like aren't physical enough. Their the offense is there. I don't know. David said, "Do you think after watching the Habs for the last 20 years, I'd learned to not bother making the effort watching their West Coast trips?" Hey, David, at least this time you're not up at 4 o'clock in the morning. What is it? Only like 1 o'clock where you are now, so it's not so bad. Matheson is pissed. He sure is. Matheson has been terrible on this road trip. I really agree. I'm like really shocked. He has not looked great in this road trip. Too many puck moving defensemen, not enough defense men. Well, who do they have as like a so like Hudson, Dobson, Matheson? I would qualify as puck movers. And then Gooley's not a puck mover, but I don't find that he's like established himself enough as a physical guy to be a physical defenseman. He's kind of like a weird half and half guy. Carrier is also a half and half guy who's also not very big, but he's not a puck handler. And then Struble and Jackeye, neither of which are puck handlers. So I do think they need like a top four physical defenseman. Like I think that's clear. I think that's what they want Gooley to be, and he's like kind of sort of there. They want Reinbacher to hopefully be that one day. Who knows? 33-14 in shots is indicative of the play. Yeah, no, it's definitely been all Kings tonight. The Habs are lucky to be just a goal behind. This trip is like the Bermuda Triangle. Oh, David says it's actually 2:30 where he is, not 1 o'clock. All right, top line settling in the zone here, and just a real low rent shot. Who was that? Dobson? What the heck was that? Just shot it right into a guy's leg. Lazy. The element is they don't defend. Yeah, as a unit, as a 6 man unit, they do not. As a 6 man unit, they don't defend enough. That is a fair. Oh, Slavkovsky hit the 50-point plateau on that goal, I will say. Yeah, it's true. No power plays yet for the Habs, but I will say that the Kings have played like a pretty. They're the ones that are pushing physically in the offensive zone, and so they're not. There hasn't been a lot of instances where the Habs have really like gone to the net and forced a penalty. Right now, the Kings have 19 high danger chances to just 8 for the Habs. Can whoever manages the site ensure that iPad display is good? The right side of the chat window is cut off. Well, it's Google that handles that. It's YouTube. Unfortunately, I don't have much of a say. But try to change in the options a little bit. I'm sure you can be able to get it to work. Like it's YouTube. It's like one of the biggest sites in the world. You'd think they'd have figured out iPad functionality by now. You have to wonder when Marty will switch to a zone defense, Max says, and abandon the hybrid. They don't seem to know what to do. Yeah, there's still like a weird. Too many. Oh, nice shot by Dowdy. Too many missed men. I don't know. Hey, and Rabinov. One of the Montreal's worst games of the season. Somehow it's only a 1 goal game. Eric, I disagree. Every team knows defense wins, not defense scoring goals. This plan of thinking everyone has to be or. No, I didn't say that it was a good plan. What I'm saying is that they have 3 puck moving defensemen, and then the rest of them are just kind of like tweeners. That was what I was saying. Uh, that I think Gooley is meant to be the stay at home guy, and he's like not that good at it, or he hasn't like fully gotten into the role. Oh, come on! Can they tuck it in, Hudson? The puck is loose. Everybody's in the crease right now. What a crazy play. So didn't make it. Hudson was the one who really kickstarted that. He like went for the wraparound and then turned around and then tried to jam it in, and then everybody just got in there. It's 5:59 left in the third. It's 3-2 Kings, 36-16 in shots. Cat's asking how did it stay out. Oh, is that what the Habs are wondering? Did a Kings player palm the puck in the crease? Because if you can't do that, you can't do that. Otherwise, it's a penalty shot. So, okay, let's see. We got the top-down perspective. I mean, it's under Kemper. Now it's not in the crease, so it doesn't matter. Oh, there's Moore. He's the last guy. And Mikey Anderson, they dive on the puck. But you'll never know. You'll never know. Yeah, I don't think that they will ever truly know what happened there. Crazy play though. What is it about this Kings team that dominates Montreal every single time they meet? It's not like the LA Kings are a good team. They just seem pumped every time they play the Habs. Yeah, the Habs seem to not do particularly well in this Western road trip. Obviously, the travel's not great. It's not ideal, but I think the Kings in particular, we've noticed that they're just a big and heavy team, and those kind of teams give the Habs trouble, even if they're not that good. That's got to be the reason. And then just a general lack of familiarity. Hey, the Canadians finally get a power play. Albie. Well, this is a big chance here. So Habs power play coming up. Their first of the night with not much time left. All right, Suzuki, the zone entry gets it to Demidov. Oh, what a goal! I mean, once again, we've talked at length that the Canadiens probably shouldn't be in this game, but they are in this game. It is 3-3 with 5:22 to go. Yuri Slavkovsky has a second goal of the night, and he absolutely wired that one timer. His shot is electric tonight. Suzuki to Hudson, perfect pass. Unbelievable goal. $11 power play goals on the season for Hudson Suzuki. So they each got 2 assists on the night. Oh, Suzuki with a nice one. And it's 4-3. Unbelievable. Unfreaking believable. That is 2 goals in. Of course, the freaking NHL website craps out right when I need you. Oh, if we got an Ole Ole chant. 4:25 to go. It is 4-3. Canadiens scored 2 goals. It's like less than 2 minutes apart or so. NHL.com still crapping out for me. I'll give you the info as soon as I get it. Well, now the Canadiens are once again in a position where they have a late third period lead. For the love of God, can we not send this one to overtime? I am hungry and I want a snack and I don't want overtime. I gotta walk the dog too. I can hear him complaining. They'll end up on the FBI's most wanted list if they steal this game. That's funny. Aren't you glad you stayed up, David? I know you said that you were going to stay up for these West Coast games, but aren't you glad you're watching this carnage? Oh, there's a broken stick now, and the Kings are swarming. There's 3:10 left. Problem is that when the Kings get it down low, like they nothing the Habs can do. Like they're helpless. There you go. Dano flicks it out to center ice. Best they can do. Oof. How about it, Slav? Breaking in. Can he get the hat trick? Backhand stop by Kemper. All right, net pulled for the Kings. There's 1:15 to go, but it's a neutral ice. One minute to play, guys. Oh, Dobesh! The puck came off the end boards, and the Kings guy had a wide open net, and Dobesh made the save. Dobson getting it done down low. Oh, there's a block. Can it get out? It gets out of the zone with 29 seconds to go. Deneau tried to get the Deneau tried to get the empty net. Instead, we're gonna have one more face off here. Seems like you guys are already ahead. It's already over. Thank goodness. Some of you are all right. Some of you are still 8 seconds with me, and then some of you are done. It looks like whatever. No, NHL.com updated, so the Habs did win this. So we're gonna watch these last 8 seconds, knowing full well what happened. So much traffic in front, and it's it. Okay. Wow. Talk about a much needed win. Best game of the year by Slavkovsky. Do you guys agree? How do you feel? Huge win. You know what they say? Good teams get points even when they don't play great. There's no goalie question. Dobesh, period. Kelly says, nice ending to a Saturday night. Mark says, much more fun the blogs are on. Well, I thank you. Thank you for coming. We stopped them from hitting 10 in a row. So is the goalie question settled, Harry says. I think so. But who knows? What a game, Michael says. A lot of sloppy play this West Coast trip, but can't fault them for the gritty comebacks. Dobesh is a rookie, yet way better than Monty. I'm the best. I didn't even do anything. Slavkovsky did more. Slavkovsky and Dobesh did more than I did tonight, but I did my best. Slav. Big game. Dobesh Tuesday, Wednesday in Ottawa. The Easter Bunny. Yeah, can the Easter Bunny play goalie? It's almost Easter. Great ending to a horrible start. Big win. Number one in goal. All right. Well, that was a crazy game. More slash stick out of Dobson's hand. Karen says 3 points out of 6. Wasn't a great road trip, but it wasn't a horrible road trip. They'll be back next week. Wednesday, Thursday, right? Is Wednesday, Thursday? Anyways, we'll be back for those. We're going to do those games. And, oh, I got food ready. Gotta go eat now. Well, thank you all so much for coming. Stay tuned. Next week, we got more live blogs. Because this season is just about to get crazier and crazier and crazier. It's how we got to do this. We've got Hockey Inside Out coming next Wednesday, a new episode with Chris and Rick Green. We've got Herb and Stu. The Canes are back home, so definitely check it out. We got Stu's mailbag today. Go check out the mailbag. And yeah, there's just like so much going on. Hit like and subscribe. We're almost at 16,000 subscribers to Hockey Inside Out. Please, if you subscribe, I can beg them for more money for us to make more Habs videos. So how about that? That's my pitch to you. If you want more, hit like and subscribe. I appreciate all of you so much. Thank you so much. As Karen said, go walk your dog. I'm gonna go walk my dog. And put your clock forward, unless you live in, I guess there's some places that don't do it, but if you do it where you are, go do it. Thank you all so much. This season has been hilarious and entertaining so far, and I think it's just going to get crazier as we get closer to the playoffs. All right, peace. See ya.